Karen from the Huntley Library. Thanks for joining me today. We're doing a special craft that has a take-home kit component. So if you're joining us in December of 2021, you'll have a chance to come to the library and pick up a kit to make one of these at home. And if you miss out on getting a kit, I'm going to provide all of the instructions and talk about the materials you'll need to do this, so you can assemble those on your own and follow along. So we're going to be making these string ball ornaments today, and I will show you how as we get started. Hi everyone, today we are going to be making string ornaments, and they look a little bit like this. So here are all the supplies that you're going to need for this craft. First of all, we have this cotton crochet string. You can use something else if you don't have this. I wouldn't recommend that you get anything that's real thick though, because part of the reason this works is you get the cotton string to absorb the glue water mixture that we're going to be using. So you want something kind of thin that will do that, and you want to make sure that it's cotton so that it will absorb that glue. So something like this, it's often called cotton crochet string. So this says it's 100% cotton mercerized, so that's what you want to get. And you're also going to need a balloon. We're going to use this to wrap our string around so that we can get this nice globe shape. You're going to need some glue. I'm going to be using just this Elmer's white school glue, so that works really well. If you don't have any glue at home, but you do have like laundry starch, you can use that too. That worked just as well. I did a trial earlier of glue or starch, and that works as well. You'll want to have a ribbon to decorate with afterwards. We'll just be tying this around the ornament like so. So some ribbon and some kind of tool like a paintbrush to apply your glue water mixture. I'm also going to be using a cup to mix my glue and my water in, and it also works really well for drying afterwards. You just place your ornament inside the cup and let it dry, and all the extra glue or starch that you're using will just drip down and collect in the bottom of it, so it's a no mess feature. And then I have a little cup of water here, and then this is for cutting our string at the end when we're finished wrapping, and for cutting our ribbon, and for popping our balloon once it's all dry. Alright, so gather your supplies together and I'll show you what to do next. So the first thing you want to do is blow up your balloon, and this is kind of a larger balloon. I think this gets to be like 10 or 12 inches across if you inflate it fully, and we do not really need that much balloon. We're going to be making a maybe an orange sized ornament, so you want your balloon to be about tennis ball orange sized, around that size, so just inflate it to that amount. So for me that took like one breath. And now you're going to want to tie this part off here. See a little knot in the end. And your balloon might not be totally round, but that's okay. We're going to squash it down a little bit when we're wrapping the string around it, so you don't have to worry about it being totally round here. It can have a little nose like mine does. You can even put a little face on it if you want to, so that it's looking at you while you're wrapping your string around. Yeah. Alright, so next part is we need to get our string ready. If you picked up a kit from the library, you will already have an amount of string, a wad of string, if you will, that's already measured out for you. We went through a fascinating scientific process where we wrapped the string around a balloon once and then took it off again and then weighed it to see how much string was used. So, yep, if you didn't get a kit from the library and you're using your own string, you can just use it right off of the roll that it came on. You don't have to cut off a certain length. It might actually take you longer to measure it than it would be to just start wrapping. So I'm holding it down with one thumb or one finger, and then I'm just starting to wrap around the balloon. it's going to roll all over the table. And like I said, since it's pointy on this one end, you can just hold that down with your finger and then wrap around it so that it squashes the pointy part down. See, it's kind of squashing at this moment. And if you have the thread coming up, like it's doing here, and loosening, you can just continue to wrap around it, or you can take it off and start again if you're right at the beginning. Just keep wrapping. You want a good amount of thread on here. So that it's a thick enough layer to hold up once you've removed the balloon, once you've popped the balloon. Once you have a lot in one direction, you can kind of shift your balloon around and start wrapping from another side. I'm kind of making a spiral where it all ends up in the middle here. Okay, I'm going to shift again to find a spot where there's not as much of the thread, and then start wrapping in that direction. And it becomes easier as you do it once the balloon is more contained. You can go a little bit faster. And if you have I finally got the thread in a good spot so it's not rolling all over the table at the same time. So that helps too. So I'm going to look at, let's see how much thread I've got on there. Do I have any bare patches that I can start to cover? Maybe over here is a little bit barer. So I'll do some more wrapping in this area. A little more over here. Looking good. And you can still adjust while you're doing this if the shape isn't completely what you want it to be. If you want it rounder and less oblong, you can still press down and adjust things. Alright, it's looking pretty good, guys. I think I'll do one more patch right around this area. Alright, and then we're going to stop right there. And I'm just going to cut the end of the thread and find a piece that I can wrap it around just to tie it off and make a little knot just right there. And then I'll lay that flat so that it can get painted down with the glue solution that we're going to be using. Okay. You're not going to need a whole lot of glue. I'm going to put in maybe a tablespoon amount, maybe a little bit less, we'll see. You just need enough to saturate the string that you wrapped around your balloon. So that might be like a tablespoon or 3/4 of a tablespoon right there. And then because we want it to saturate, we're going to add the same amount of water to it, and that will help it soak into the string a little bit better. And then you can just mix up your water and your glue together in a cup. And make sure you have protected your work surface. Like I have a little piece of cardboard down here and mix this up real good so the water is completely incorporated into the glue. And then you can start painting. And you want to cover all of your balloon, all the string that's on your balloon. And it's okay if you get the glue water solution on your balloon, because I just recommend something that doesn't have a huge amount of surface area for it to adhere to, because if it gets stuck to that, you might have some problems releasing it from the container that you've placed it in to dry. So I'd recommend something with a lip like that will keep it in one place without allowing it to stick real well. Keep painting. And once this is dry, you'll be able to see that it's dry probably on the top first, and then when you lift it out of your cup or whatever you're drying it in, it may be a little bit wet on the bottom still. So if it is, then just turn it over so that that other side has a chance to dry completely, because you don't want this to be wet at all. You don't want it to be flexible or move around. So if you're getting a lot of movement of your string, you're probably you're going to need to let it dry more if it's not dried completely, or you're going to need more glue solution and paint that on again just to make it stiff. You should be able to tell pretty easily just by looking at it whether the glue is covering it while you're painting it on and whether it's getting absorbed nicely. This part has not gotten much glue. So I'm going to finish this up and then I'll show you what it looks like. Alright, I think I'm done, so I'm just going to look over this real quick and see if there are any areas that look like they're still dry. Like there's one right in there. You can see that the string is a little thinner and it doesn't look as wet or saturated with the solution as other places are. Okay, and once you've gone through and looked at it and it looks good, then you can set it in your cup to dry like so. And then it could take quite some time for this to dry. I left mine overnight and I started in the afternoon with the examples that I made earlier. So maybe about 8 hours of drying time. If you started your project in the morning, you can check in the evening and see how it's doing. You will need to flip it over and see how the bottom is, because all of that moisture is going to track downwards, you know, gravity. So it might still be a little wet on the other side and you'll have to flip it over and let it dry some more. And then if it feels nice and stiff, then we can pop the balloon that's inside. Or if you have other decorating plans for this, I know some people like to add color to the string or glitter. You could add some color, some acrylic paint or something to your glue mixture and paint that on either in your first go round or as a second coating. And for glitter glue, probably the same thing. You could add it afterwards, after you've done this glue water solution, and see what kind of effect you can get with that. We are not going to do that for our example today. I'm just going to stick with the glue and water and have just a white ball afterwards. So we're going to let this dry and then we will come back and finish it up after everything is ready. All right, our string ornament is now dry. I just checked all of the different sides. I had to turn it a few times to get it to dry completely, so you may have to do the same thing. And the extra liquid actually collected at the bottom of the cup here, so hey, we can do it again. If you're going to add some color to it or some glitter, this is the time to do it and then let it dry again. I'm not, so I'm going to start popping my balloon. But before I do that, you just want to check and make sure that your string is going to hold its shape after you take the balloon out. So just kind of lightly press on it, and if it feels like it's pretty firm and like the string's not going anywhere, here's one with the balloon already out where I'm kind of tapping on it a little bit, and there's not a lot of give, so you can kind of tell when it's ready. And then you can dramatically pop it, or you can like so, or you can do it more gently than that and just kind of push it away from the sides of the string. Now getting it out might be challenging because we didn't leave a lot of space here. I did, the end of the balloon actually fortuitously got caught here for me, so I'm able to pull it right out. So that actually didn't take very long at all, and it really released rather quickly. In the one that I did previously, I really had to push through a lot to get it to detach from this from the string. So that went fast. Hope yours is similarly easy. So now all we have to do is tie a ribbon around it, or if you like it without the ribbon, you can just find a way to hang it. Those ornaments for the glass ball ornaments, those wire hangers work really well. If you don't have anything like that, you could use another piece of string. You could use a bent paper clip to hang it. We have a piece of ribbon here, so you can find a decorative way to tie that on. Let's see, do I have even ends pretty much? So I'm just going to make a little bow here. And if you use your one finger to hold it down, then you should have a pretty tight ribbon. There. And then I'll probably use like a paper clip or something to hang it from the bow. There's plenty of places, lots of holes in your ornament probably, so you'll be able to find a place to attach something to hang it up. So there you have it. String ball ornaments. So I hope you had a good time making string ball ornaments today. I did. I'm going to make some more, I think, if I have extra string and extra glue. For more fun ideas, you can check out our website, www.huntleylibrary.org, or our newsletter, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to see you back in the library, too. Have a great day. Bye.